this is some great news. Full circle. Shane Gillis is set to be host of Saturday Night Live on February 24th. Controversial move as the comedian was cast and swiftly cut from the late night sketch show in 2019. Can you believe it's been that long? He will be joined by musical guest 21 Savage. So on the 24th of this month, Shane Gillis hosting, and it'll be great.
I'm wondering if it even happens.
Oh, it'll happen.
It happens.
You know, they said the first thing that's going to happen is everybody's going to talk about this.
Because depending on where you go get the story, it's two different things. One's the awesome Shane Gillis come back, racist comedian returns to SNL.
For sure. But the great thing about it is if they do a sketch where he's supposed to play an Asian character and he's like, I don't think I should do that. You know what I mean?
I think it's be awesome, but now you've got other news sources. They're going to start digging through everything he's done even since
he
then.
doesn't care.
They already did it.
So,
Or they have, what's his name, Bowen Yang.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, be like right up in his face about it and stuff. That'd be funny.
I love Bowen Yang. I think he's great. So the best part about this was the other comedians. It comes out. It comes out on Instagram. It says Saturday Night Live, February 24th. Host Shane Gillis, musical guest 21 Savage. The comments underneath from other comedians are great. What's his name?
You see Joe List?
Joe List wrote Rao, right? What did he write? Rao? Who wrote
I don't remember what he wrote, but it was really funny.
And then what? Rat King. What's his name? Theo Von. Just put all the Asian flags underneath. China, Japan, Thailand. Oh, dude, it's been hilarious. Shane was a guest on this show, and it was so long ago that we had just built. Excuse me. Templar had just built the studio because I found the picture of when he was in here and the walls weren't even painted yet. So we asked him about the Saturday Night Live thing.
Real quick, there's two clips. Carmen, if you can play the first clip. The first clip is kind of setting up. We're getting into the Saturday Night Live thing, but it's just funny, his response, and then it goes into talking about the Saturday Night Live stuff. So if you play the first clip real quick.
Okay.
Like right now, you're on fire.
Oh,
right
thanks
now.
a lot, man.
I mean, do you
Thank
feel that or no? Do you not know? I know it's hard to say because you sound douchey, but I'm asking you.
I will say I think I was on fire a little bit more last, like a year and a half ago.
Right.
Things were going pretty good.
Yeah, that was before he got fired
from
Saturday Night Live. But then here is the rest of it.
Hey, I love the echo on that is awful. Awful.
Wild.
I only knew of you. I knew your name. I had never had you on the show or the podcast or anything. But all my friends that are comedians were so happy, probably secretly jealous and hating you inside, but because they were like, couldn't believe that you got it, but were so happy and felt that you deserved to get it. And so how many did you go? Give us like the audition story. Did you have to do what all these other people say, the 3 characters and all that stuff?
No, I don't know. They must have changed it because for stand-up comedians, you only have to do stand-up.
Oh, really?
I didn't have to do characters.
And who is the audience? Like, is it 5 people or is there a bunch of people?
It's brutal. We were just talking about that on the car ride. It's like you get into the because my whole life I was like, I'm not going to do SNL.
Right. Why? See, I still think I'm going to do it, and I know reality is there's 0 chance. But since I was a kid, I was like, I'm going to be on the show.
I'm holding out hope for you.
Thank you.
All right, I will say that. Yeah, growing up, I was like, I'm going to do SNL.
Okay.
And then once you get into comedy, you're like, I'm never going to do SNL. And then all of a sudden, they were like, they had interest in me, and I was like, oh man, maybe this is going to happen. But even up until the audition, I was like, this isn't going to happen.
Right. So
I was in the.
Are you kind of like a kicker who has to kick an 80-yard field goal? You're like, I'm probably not going to make it. So
0 chance. Yeah. And then I wasn't that nervous, which helped. Because everybody else there was like an improv guy that was like, "Oh my God, this is it."
Was there anybody there we would know that you saw?
That I auditioned with?
Yeah, like any of your contemporaries or some names that we might know.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay,
I don't think so. But they were nervous because you all hang out. You have to wait for like 3 hours before you go on for the audition. And they do that to mess with you. They do that to like see how you handle pressure and all that. And I was fine. I was just in there like dipping. I was just chewing tobacco.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it was my turn to go on, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fine." And then right when you walk out and see like that main stage, because that's where you.
Oh, you do it right there.
You do it on the stage. Right when I saw that, I was like, "Oh God!" And then like I was shaking. My hand was shaking, so I had to like hold the mic against my chin.
Who do you see? Lorne Michaels, is he there?
Yeah, you see him like barely because it's dark.
Yeah.
So there's like a table to your left that's like producers, a couple writers, and Lorne Michaels, and then the rest of the studio is totally empty. There's a camera right in front of you, and they're like 3, 2, 1, go. And you just have to do
how long? 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Do you was it your best 5 that you have, or something you're the most comfortable telling?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It was definitely like the best 5 I could do, but it was definitely bad. I thought I did bad.
Right.
And then
do you hear anybody laugh?
Yeah, you do.
Do you hear Lorne Michaels laugh? It's a pretty distinct laugh.
I was looking for him, and he did laugh a couple times, and I was like, all right, that's nice.
Because they always say, they tell you he doesn't laugh, don't be offended, but then you hear him laugh, and you're like, oh, okay, I must be the best ever.
True. But then I got done, and I was like, wow, that was bad. I did bad.
Were you able to hear any of the other people that were trying out? Okay,
no, you got to wait.
You can't even tell if you're.
Can't tell.
Yeah.
And then I ran into Michael Che that night at a show, and he was like, you did great. I was like, oh, I was so nervous. And he was like, you were the least nervous. I was like, oh, all right, maybe I got a chance here.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, I was like, oh, no, I'm getting it.
Oh,
definitely getting it. Yeah.
You went through the phases?
Yeah. And then, they do vet you. They check you out. They go through all your social media. They do all that before they announce that you're on the show for exactly my reason.
Right.
But I think I was one of the first few people that had a podcast that got it. So they never went to
listen to old episodes.
Listen to a whole podcast.
Yeah. And
now they probably do.
Yeah.
You changed the way Saturday Night Live
It's called
works.
the Gillis rule. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I don't want to put too much of your business out there, but you were signed to do it? Did you actually sign contract? And then they had to tell you no.
Yeah.
And they paid you, though, didn't they? They paid you half of it?
Well, technically, I got paid my first contract. Yeah.
Oh, you got the whole.
Yeah.
Wow, good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That worked out
That's
all right.
fun.
Do you think now? How do they break it to you? How do they? Okay, well, explain. What did they find? I know what it was, but they found.
You want me to say it on the radio?
Well, they found you doing comedy where you made some sort of Asian reference.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. I mean, we were doing.
I remember seeing it or hearing it at the time, and I was like, "Oh, I mean, that wasn't that."
Yeah,
that's what I thought too. I go, are they mad at him because he's doing an Asian character? Are they mad at him for what he's saying?
Yeah.
Because either way, I'm like, hasn't everybody done that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's a comedian, and he's trying to be funny and do stuff. Like, I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was like, oh, this guy's got to be fired immediately. You know what I mean? It was one of those ones where I go, it's a little ticky-tack for me.
Sure. Yeah, and it was a time we're doing a podcast. Me and my friend are open micers in Philadelphia, just doing a podcast for like 500 people. We're like, who cares?
Yeah.
And then, it turns out everyone cared.
A lot of people cared.
Yeah.
So how do you find out? Who tells the bad news to you?
That was, I talked to Lorne throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. He's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, or he fakes it.
Yeah.
Either way, he's cool. And then they were trying. They were like, hopefully this works. And then eventually it got to the point where they were like, this.
Was it somebody from above?
Yeah.
That's okay. So it's not like, I mean, we always say this is you find out the people who are most mad at a black joke are old fat white ladies. Like it's never the. So who was the one getting so mad? You know.
I think it was just enough. I think all these companies and shows and all these networks and stuff, they respond to just Twitter.
Yeah.
There was enough noise on there where like sponsors started to get like that. And then
nervous.
also, it's like it's a team.
Right.
SNL's like a team, and then you're bringing in this new guy who's like going to be a cancer to the locker room.
Yeah.
And it's like, this could be a risk. So I get it. I get it.
I'll tell you, it was probably the best thing that could have happened to him because
For sure.
Saturday Night Live hadn't been that great for a while. Although I've been watching it the last couple of years, it's been okay. It's been fun to watch. But Shane Gillis did Gillian Keeves, which became
so good.
way better. Well, not became. It's certainly not Saturday Night Live, but it is a very, very funny sketch comedy show. His stand-up special is one of the funniest ones I've ever seen. I haven't rewatched the special in a long time. I watch Shane's every once in a while. And he's more of a household name now than I think he would have been had he just been on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, 100%, because I think it was all the perfect storm. So you didn't necessarily know who Shane was. Then you hear about this. Then you go and listen to the stuff that got him fired. And then with COVID and Gillian Keeves comes out, and that is so funny. Those sketches are so funny and so perfect. Yeah, and he's really, in my opinion, he is the best stand-up out there right now.
And to show you how popular he is now, instead of calling him today and getting him on the show, we replayed an old bit because he's impossible to get on the phone now.
Yeah.
So